8 hacks to get back on track with your money and career goals. Now, if you've ever reached for a big money or career goal only to miss it or just come close, don't give up. Watch this video. I'm going to show you 8 positive ways to rethink your situation, gain a fresh perspective, and get back on track to success. Welcome in. How often have you missed a big goal? You likely felt discouraged, but for those around you, depending on what you shared with them, they're not going to feel you're a lesser person for trying or missing. It might just be the opposite. Now, I've reached for some big goals, achieved some, come close on others, but sometimes that door will just not open, especially in the way or in the time frame we want. But there are other ways. Hacks are workarounds to your goals. So here's hack 1 of 8. Sometimes your goal may be a bridge too far, but there might be an adjacent partial workaround, a goal never accessible through your initial chosen route. You can ask, was I reaching for the wrong door? Often we may have a lack of orientation to the unwritten rules of a new type of field or organization. So here's a story. I sought a very special officer's commission in one of our Reserve Forces service branches. I was qualified. I passed tests, physicals, officer candidacy interviews, background checks, experience, and even academic preparation. But as it turned out, I had a mild but disqualifying physical disability, color blindness. Now, there was an adjacent lower level pathway mentioned to me almost as an aside comment, but I did not follow up carefully. This was like intelligence given to me, but with any thoroughness, I didn't follow it up. And that adjacent position was within my grasp, but it was my disappointment in having the disqualifying condition that shielded and overwhelmed my senses to the adjacent opportunity with the same service branch and specialty area, but at a lower level. Now, many folks face this field distortion, this lack of awareness. You might be going from private sector to government, military service to private sector, or nonprofit to government, or from one industry to another, like manufacturing to tech or media to customer experience. Now, what can you do? Well, a few things. You can interview expansively and read extensively. Ask what else can you target? Are there other pathways and entry points? You can navigate much better once you're inside a field, an industry, or a corporation. You know, as an insider, you will learn of new opportunities first and new restructurings, new locations, or even regional headquarters. Then consider where you will land. This is like a thought exercise if the worst or the inevitable happens. Just like in a corporate consolidation, economic downturn, or if you had a political job with a short time horizon. What's your fallback position and backup? Imagining this can help you frame these entry points. And as my dad said, better have a job lined up before you leave your current one. And never leave a job in a huff. As great CEO and a mentor to Warren Buffett, Tom Murphy said, you can always tell someone to go to hell tomorrow. Don't be unkind or engage in an emotional reaction or action you might regret that can sully your reputation. CEO Murphy of ABC Cap Cities Media said it best, praise others by name, criticize by category. You're watching What's Next with Money, a program with smart insights to guide your financial decisions. Here's our second hack for career and money goals. If we are too focused or maniacal towards a goal, we're going to miss things along the way. For example, I was sick for part of my senior year in high school, and this delayed my start in undergraduate college. But I used some of my recovery time to amass college credits. Now later, I entered a college full-time in Washington, D.C., a university. But because of my delayed entry, I was sort of like a transfer student, but not really. And I didn't graduate with my entry class. I got out in 3 full-time years with some summer school testing and testing out of some courses. And I I did get the degree, but another path for me would have been to focus on slowing down the process, accepting the reality of my late start and building relationships. But as you know, with college, there would have been financial and work opportunity costs. I had some great opportunities, and I did save money by getting out in 3 years, but I missed having a more robust network. And I could have experienced several more internships and work opportunities during 4 years in college instead of 3. Hack number 3, natural course corrections through sampling. Now, another story. After college and a year-long public affairs paid working fellowship, and that was with the Coro Foundation. This was a year-long experience, and I had many sampling opportunities that altered my earlier planned career path to law school. But this public affairs fellowship with multi-sector exposure caused me to favor business and government over law. So I abandoned the law school path, and I never looked back. Later I realized I can hire lawyers, I just don't have to be one. Now, today, lawyers give me advice to do deals, corporate and entrepreneurial, and they advise on policy. I cover in a separate video the rise of generalists and the importance of sampling work experiences in many fields to find your career path, just like many great tech entrepreneurs do. Now, I get a lot of that inspiration not only from me living it, but this book, Range, and we profile this and many other concepts in our video, How to Plan Your Next Career Move. We're talking about hacks for career and money goals. And here's hack number 4, create something out of thin air. As an entrepreneurial creative endeavor, or in my case, a social enterprise, after that fellowship, I had diverse exposure to creative work in the public affairs space. And that motivated me to reach for something kind of unheard of at the time. And this was to create a social enterprise. Those words weren't even used when I started this. And this was the concept of a leadership program. I assembled a nonprofit board of directors and eventually a program like I was pitching and proposed over the 2 years of me really pushing this idea. The proposal eventually got implemented in this home state of Kentucky. And so I have this bottle of Woodford Reserve to preserve and commemorate that time in Kentucky. Now later, just telling others the story of what I tried, people found out that it was interesting. And I suppose it was a little ahead of its time. But during this endeavor, I had a job commemorated by this bottle of Woodford Reserve. And it wasn't at the distillery, it was in state government. But it offered me growth potential. But I was not at a level of responsibility that was overwhelming. The job paid the bills, it gave me experience and benefits, but also a platform to try new things. And I learned how to build a network of advisors and meet experts to hone the concept of a leadership program for the state. And it was a project I worked on with my wife early in our marriage, and it showed that we as a team could try something novel. Now, if you're getting value from this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and smash that like button. It helps move our content to more people, and it's free. Here's hack number 5. You don't have to be at the top for expansive, growing experiences in a job. Instead, look for smart positioning, fair pay, and growth prospects. Now, you might have to politely maneuver around a tough or unsupportive boss, but give him or her a chance first. By not being at the top, you eliminate or lessen the potential of time poverty from that job. And we have more on the concept of time poverty at this video, The Secrets of Wealth Building. Now, by not getting the top job, you still might benefit by volunteering for diverse opportunities and that match or stretch your skills. And in my case, at a recent job, I had the time to be a better, more focused investor and later an entrepreneur. Now, if instead I had that higher salary, time-consuming job, I would have been paid more money, but I would have had to pay more in taxes, and I would have had less time to keep my eye on investing and real estate opportunities. And this little stagecoach from Wells Fargo really is kind of the commemoration of the small business my wife and I started during this period, and it involved real estate. We started it in 2008 and 2009, a pretty good time to start in real estate because of the great housing recession. But I guarantee, because of that move and my eye on the ball in investing in these opportunities and not being sucked in by that time poverty, my net worth is higher now for not being in the higher position. Not only a miracle of compounding, but as I look at the numbers now, just a flat out miracle. Now here's hack number 6, fuse different ideas. This YouTube channel is the fusing of personal finance, future trends, and consumer policy. And then I've been able to chair and serve on boards now through professional certification with the National Association of Corporate Directors. And this is a new kind of, it's not a full-time job, but these are opportunities that I've only dreamed of. And I continue to give advice and lead on issues. Here's hack 7. Your original vision or purpose may be realized later in a different setting. Mark Twain said the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born, and then secondly, the day you find out why. Now, I think folks can answer that in many ways, and it may be multiple days and experiences that eventually give that answer to the why you were born. Now, for me, the why changes a bit and grows in nuance and complexity. You know, the pathways to my original vision of being involved in public affairs, business, and public policy, it didn't take a linear route. And if it had, I would have been bored silly. But it took me to personal finance, social services issues, advocacy, regulatory leadership, strategic intelligence, analysis, media, international affairs, national security, and to help create a new global profession, financial planning, through the CFP, Certified Financial Planner credential. And now I serve on boards related to these issues. Here's hack number 8. Warren Buffett, and here he is in a fake photograph with me, said at this year's annual meeting, figure out how you want to live your life by writing your own obituary and reverse engineering it. And then figure out how to live up to that obituary that you've written. And realize you can't plan everything, but you can live and conduct yourself by the principles of fairness, preparation, courtesy, kindness, and hard work. You know, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And Abraham Lincoln, in several famous quotes, said things like, I will prepare and perhaps my chance will come. He also said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I'm going to spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Or on taking action, he said, things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. So seize the day. So here's a recap. Here are the 8 hacks to get back on track with your money and career goals. Number 1, your goal may be a bridge too far, but there may be an adjacent or partial workaround. 2, if we are too focused or maniacal towards a goal, we're going to miss things along the way. 3, experience natural course corrections through sampling. 4, create something out of thin air. 5, you don't have to be at the top. 6, fuse different ideas. 7, your original vision or purpose may be realized later, but in a different setting. 8, write your own obituary and reverse engineer it. So be sure to hit that subscribe and that like button, and don't forget to share. I'm Brent Neiser, looking to see you next time on What's Next with Money.